Hello and welcome to the Perry Connection. I'm your host, Jessie Barth, and in the studio are Jacquie and Sarah Billings. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for
having us. So happy to have you. And we're going to be talking about a very, very special event that's coming up on November 14th. Jacquie, can you tell us what that event is?
Sure. We are hosting a fundraiser for community action called Feed the Need. And it is an event that is being promoted in honor of my mom, Anita Billings, who recently passed away. And it's actually an event that she designed. And she...
so let's just say right there, if Anita designed it, we know that it's going to be wonderful.
Absolutely. We love to be involved in our community. We love to use the resource of the restaurant to help move any agenda forward if it strikes our value system, and this certainly does. And so Feed the Need is going to be a opportunity for people to get dressed up in their fancy clothes and come out and enjoy some lovely music and some lovely food and get to celebrate Mom's memory.
Okay, so we have a wonderful poster here. And who designed the poster?
Well, this is all part of Anita's master plan. So Anita found herself on the board of Community Action for the last couple years of her life and realized that they do a lot that she doesn't feel that enough people in the community know what they do.
And we'll talk about that later.
No, but
in the program.
it gets to this answer, believe it or not. So one of the things she wanted to do was leverage some of our marketing resources in the community to help Community Action move their brand forward and become more recognizable and do a better job communicating to the community what they do. And so we used Olive and Ink, Rachel Richter, to design this event. Poster. And Rachel Richter, of course, is a new business on Main Street in Perry. And the wonderful thing about Rachel, a few of the wonderful things about Rachel is that she has an incredible artistic talent. You can go to her with any idea you have, and she somehow has an ability to interpret exactly what you want to say. And so we told her we wanted to have this culinary affair, we wanted to have this extra bonus goal of communicating all the awesome things that Community Action does, but we don't have a name for it. And so she actually even named the event.
Oh, really?
So she emailed us. This was her first pass at it. It was called Feed the Need Gala for Community Action, and it was like right on par.
Isn't she amazing?
She's on par, for sure. I mean, the poster says it all.
That's Rachel Richter.
Yeah, Olive and Ink, downtown Perry, New York.
Yeah. So, and it's presented at the Hole in the Wall, and of course you two know a lot about that.
We do.
Yeah. How long has the Hole in the Wall been established?
It was established in 1932. 1932 on Main Street in Perry. A tiny little sandwich shop.
And your mom worked there?
In the 70s.
In the 70s, yeah. I mean, that was a big influence in her life, wasn't it, working at the Hole in the Wall?
It was. Yep, it was her first and her last job, incidentally. She was hired by Nicky DeVolis, who was the second generation owner of the Hole in the Wall. He was a World War II vet. And he was sweet when he went to hire her, interview her. He said, you probably have, friends and family that you want to spend time with. This job's too hard for you. And she said, no, that's okay. I can do that. And he said, well, then you probably like to, go and be with your boyfriend. No, I don't have a boyfriend. Well, you've probably never waitressed before, but I can learn. Mm-hmm. And so he hired her, and it was a very influential piece of her beginning. She met my dad while she worked there. She had all three of us girls while she worked there.
Oh, that long, okay.
Yeah, and then moved on and did other things before eventually coming back and buying it.
Yeah. Well, that in itself is a story. It's a wonderful, wonderful story. But let's get back to all the nitty-gritty. So this is at the Hole in the Wall, a culinary affair in honor of Anita Billings in support of the Wyoming County Community Action. And it's Monday, November 14th, 5:30 to 8. And if people want to come, do they call the Hole in the Wall for tickets?
They can certainly call the restaurant, but tickets are available at Burlingham Books downtown in Perry. They're available at the Hole in the Wall restaurant. They're available at the M&T Bank Perry branch because Sandra Maley branch manager
right.
there, is on the committee for this event.
Okay.
And then any of the board members of Community Action also have tickets for sale.
Great, great. So can you tell me a little bit about just that evening? What's going on? And Sarah, I know that you're involved with music. Could you just tell us a little bit about that musical component?
Yeah, we're very fortunate. Johnny Bauer is going to be playing. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Johnny Bauer, but Mom has hired Johnny Bauer many times at the restaurant.
Is he a pianist? Or
No, he's
guitarist?
a guitarist.
Okay.
So he has a large musical background. He is actually his orientation is from Perry. His family is part of the Kellys.
Oh, okay.
And they actually had a house on Suckerbrook Road, but that house is no longer standing anymore. So Johnny Bauer will be there singing and with his guitar. He's amazing.
And he's offered to donate his
Oh, beautiful.
performance
Yeah.
because he had a lot of respect for Mom.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Now, and does he do original material, or is it
He
covers?
he does cover music, and he does have some of his own. So I think depending on what he feels for the crowd that night, he's
Right. Isn't that great? You
very
can
good
just
at
feel,
judging. Yeah.
I
feel
imagine
and
he'll
deliver.
do the balance of background music
Yeah.
unless the opportunity presents
Yeah.
itself to
He's
step
a
it
lot
up
of
a little.
fun.
For sure.
Good. And what level will he be playing on?
On the second floor.
Second floor.
Yeah, most of the event will take place. So the hole in the wall has really 3 levels, and so guests will enter the first level, be greeted by our team of volunteers from the Community Action Board and from the community at large, and then be directed to the second floor, where there will be many opportunities for distraction between food and learning about community action and music. And I don't know how much dancing will take place. Hopefully.
Oh,
Eventually.
should be.
you're playing or
Eventually we'll-
dancing? Awesome.
Well,
Oh, we have in the past. He's very, we've had some good times.
I think it depends on how the mood of the group is.
And sometimes some singing along as well.
Oh, great.
There's not going to be any karaoke.
Maybe just some spontaneous
Maybe.
singing. Good. Well, can you tell me about, I know there is a special aspect to the culinary experience. Can you talk about that, Jackie?
Yeah, sure. So the audience members at home may or may not know that I own the restaurant with my husband, Travis Barlow, who is our executive chef. And he's been with us since, oh goodness, I think about 10 years now. And he is accustomed to doing the fanciest, most farm-to-table, respectful treatment of ingredients as anybody around. But he's actually paired up with the chef instructor from the Genesee Valley Educational Partnership, which listeners at home may or may not know that is actually formerly known as, that's what BOCES used to be. But we have a real affinity for trying to make connections with people before they get into the culinary industry, to try to show them all the opportunities that exist in the culinary industry. And so we've tried for years, ever since Travis joined our team, to make a connection with the vocational trade. And so Chef Stephen Kingston and Travis have come up with the menu, and the students are actually going to help execute the whole event. So that's part of the reason it's a little earlier. It's part of the reason it's on a Monday to deal with.
But isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
I mean, what a great opportunity for them.
They should be. They're
So practical. They can put it on a resume.
Chef Kingston is really sharp, and he actually, this is not the only event that they do like this. They actually do the. There's 2 events up in Rochester. One I think Cure runs, and then there's another big one, which of course I can't remember the names of them. But he does this a lot. So when we asked him if he would do this with us, he jumped at the opportunity,
Right.
and his administration was very supportive of it. As part of our fundraising, we will give a small donation to their culinary club,
Sure.
to keep their efforts
And how many
going.
students will be participating in this?
As many as 20.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, as many as 20, and they'll all fill different roles.
Okay.
There is going to be one live food station. So some of the students will be at the live food station sautéing some pumpkin gnocchi with a sage brown butter sauce.
Ooh, I think we better talk about the menu. Sounds really great.
Yeah, there's a ton of food that's planned because we're leveraging our resources to get donations to offset the cost of this. So we have beef tenderloin being donated by CNR Foods, and so that will be a urban peppercorn encrusted beef tenderloin with an herb mayonnaise. I think that's at the same station. There's going to be bruschetta, charcuterie, the dessert station is, I tasted some root beer cookies today, root beer cream cookies today.
Sounds delicious.
That were, the chef instructor at the Batavia Bosie's is a really talented pastry chef, and she has some terrific background, and she gave Chef Kingston a bunch of her recipes for the students to make for this event. So I just love all those connections.
And will
what
they
pride
be
they're
making
gonna
them
have.
in the kitchen?
Some of the prep will be done
Okay.
at the Bosie's or at the
Okay.
Genesee Valley Educational Partnership there
Okay.
themselves, and they'll bring that to us, and
Okay.
others will be done right at the restaurant
Okay.
and brought in.
Wow, it sounds great.
Yeah.
Sounds great. Now, okay, so we did talk about the tickets are $50.
I don't know if we mentioned the price
Yeah.
of them yet, but they are
Okay.
$50.
And so this, the proceeds will go to support the community action. So can you talk a little bit more about the community action and your mom's involvement in that, and why it was so important to her?
Well, Mom did what the mission of community action is independently. She sought creative solutions to helping people to reach their highest versions of themselves. So if that meant connecting them to education and training opportunities, she did that. And that's what community action does. So they have 4 departments. One is Angel Action, which people are very, very familiar with, but they are not probably familiar with all of the things Angel Action does.
Can you enlighten us?
I can try. So I know that I know Pat Standish has done a really wonderful job promoting that segment of community action. But a lot of people don't realize that is under the umbrella of Wyoming County Community Action. So they do backpacks at school full of food to go home for kids that don't have food at home. They have lockers in schools that have toiletries and school supplies. But they also operate a food pantry once a month in Perry up at the Cornerstone building. FoodLink brings in trucks full of food, and people who are in great need in our community line up starting at like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Really?
And it's a whole social event for them, really. I drove by this last time they had it because Cindy Erickson, the vice president of the board, and the board member who's in charge of that part of what Angel Action does, she said, you have to come and see the need that is being fed here.
And is this is the whole county or Perry?
This is the county.
Okay.
I think that they may have another part of the county where they do this as well
Okay.
another day. But I know in Perry it's the second Tuesday of the month. But in any case, these people, the people that take advantage of it, they bring their chairs, they bring their coffee, they bring their umbrellas, they bring their winter parkas, and they're out there rain, shine, sleet or hail, waiting for the doors to open and the trucks to come and bring the food. And it's a happy spirited event, and people get goods to feed their families at home. And
Are these primarily younger families? Oh, you see
wide variety.
Wide.
And there's no pre-qualification to use it either, from my understanding.
Just anyone can show up who needs it.
That's my understanding, and I'm kind of at a disadvantage here because I'm filling in for Mom, so I wasn't on the board myself, but I've been learning a lot as we've put this program together. Another department at Community Action is their weatherization program, housing and weatherization. I happen to know that, and of course, no names to be mentioned, but I happen to know of somebody who recently had their roof mended. With the help of Community Action, and then because the whole budget wasn't used up and their well went dry, they actually were able to help build them a new well so they have water and a roof. And again, any questions about how to get in touch with these services and how you qualify would need to be directed to Community Action's main office.
Which is online.
Yep, they have a great website that talks about all.
And
the
would it
programs.
just be Community Action?
Wyoming County Community Action. They have a terrific childcare and daycare program called Mud Pies and Milestones, and they have a great website, and they have a waiting list to get admission to their program.
Right.
And then they have an employment and training program, which is really what kind of comes full circle back to the original involvement with the restaurant. They have grants to pay students to work in local businesses. So if you can identify a person who is age appropriate and works for your vocation, Community Action can actually pay them, and you as a business owner don't take the risk on this person. And then at the end, if their aptitude gets them the job, then they have the job. And we happen to know, and this is an example we will talk about at the event, but Rachel Richter at Olive and Ink actually used this program just this year and was able to grow her business. So she
wonderful.
was able to hire a local art student to intern at her store, and then grew her business so much that she was able to hire her on full-time or part-time and hire another probably 30-hour a week employee, and her business
great.
just keeps growing in our community. So there's all sorts of spectrum
Right.
that of needs that they feed in our community.
And I would think same thing with you, Sarah, with your SLB salon. That
Yeah,
if
you should
there's-
find somebody.
I know.
you know, I mean, to even be a receptionist or
I know because there was a total, it was about $60,000 or $68,000 that they had for work study that went into Wyoming County. That's how much funding
well,
they had.
that's quite a bit.
Yeah.
And where does that funding come from?
They've come mostly from grant programs, and that's part of the reason that Mom had conceived of this fundraiser. So there seems to be a funding shortfall at Community Action from where there are grants that are specific to be used for this specific
Right.
cause, and the implementation of those
Right.
programs, there can tend to be a bit of a funding insecurity there. So they need to do a better job of getting their name out there so that all of us know that
That's
we
right.
can
That it's
remember
available.
them
Right.
when we want to write our donations to the community.
Well, that's great. Well, you know, I think it's great that you both are involved with this project, and it's a lovely way to honor your mom. And when we talk about Anita Billings and her many talents, can you just give me some of those wonderful qualities? I mean, we all know she was involved with Rotary and obviously Community Action, and was on the village board in addition to being a businesswoman. What qualities can you just stand out to you?
Well, you know, something that I realized about Mom I've worked for her since 2003, and then of course we've grown our business and grown our community involvement together, is she's a team player, and she always figures out how to be very loyal to whatever the mission is. What I didn't realize until her passing is how methodical she is about it. She's task-oriented, goal-oriented. So if we're talking about community action, she's very focused on, okay, what's our mission statement? Who are we supposed to be helping? Okay, well, is this action over here in line with what our goal is or what our task is? And she always had this uncanny ability to, even if the conversation would get distracted or emotional or anything, she got us right back on task and stayed focused on the goal. And whenever you would hit a roadblock, she would be the one to come up with the creative solution, because she was just methodically focused on what the mission was, what was the goal, what was the task.
What a good leader.
Yeah,
For
she was
sure.
a fantastic leader, and if she saw like an issue, whether within the community, she was definitely willing to go ahead and face it full head and find a solution.
Well, and actually, before she even got involved with Community Action, are you familiar with the SUNY Attain program? The
Yes.
Attain Lab? So it's another really underutilized program that's right in Perry, New York. It's a computer education program run by the SUNY program, and it was going to be defunded, and we were going to lose it in Perry. Their numbers don't show the usage that they need to show because we're a rural area, and but the need was there. She knew the need was there. We had some staff people get their GED through training there. We had other customers learn how to email and use the internet through there. So she lobbied Senator Gallivan's office and got letters of support from all of the local government, and just kept, all the schools. Just, she got focused on the task, stayed goal oriented, and got it done. And it's still funded, and it's still in Perry today.
That's great. What a legacy. What about you, Sarah? Now, you talked about her leadership in terms of being confident. You know, where do you think that her confidence, where did that come from? It's just, maybe that's a hard question, just innate?
Maybe, and could be from her upbringing, from her mother and father, and oh yeah, that is a hard one.
Well, you know, I think she loved people. I mean, she seemed like she loved what she did.
No, she did, and she had she didn't just care for herself, but she cared about everyone that was around her, and like, you know, being a part of her family, not just as her children, but even as her employees, like that was important. Like she wanted to make sure that you were well taken care of, and you know, encouraging, as Jackie said, about making sure you got your GED, and she wanted everyone to fulfill and have
to reach their highest potential.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and that sounds good, Sarah. That was good.
What a great legacy.
Yeah.
And daughters,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
too, to follow suit.
No, and like the side thing of mom is that, you know, back in school, you know, if we had a bad day, you'd call her, and I can't believe she was never fired for the many phone calls. We called her individually every day, and I said that to mom before she passed. I'm like, I can't believe we're not fired. But if we had a bad day, and it's so true, she would say, you know, do something good. Turn your day around, do something good for someone, and then your day will be better. And as a teenager growing up, it's so true, because if your day is
What
bad,
great advice.
yeah, it's like probably one of the best advice, and it's
Do all the good you can with all the time you can.
Yeah.
with
Right.
everything that you can.
and it does change your day around.
Yeah.
So
Oh, what a wise woman.
definitely was.
Yeah.
We're very fortunate.
Yeah. Well, you know, we're going to have to wrap up pretty soon. It's amazing the time goes so quickly. But do you have any other comments about community action and sort of the long range vision for it that your mom had for it?
Well, she just wanted more people to be informed of what they do, so that more people could either be connected to the services that they offer or connect people to the services they offer. And that is the goal of this event.
So it's really a communication.
Well, so
event.
the hook is that it's going to be lovely. Your $50 ticket gets you access to this beautiful event where it's going to be filled with beautiful, beautiful members of your own community. There will be amazing food, music, and all this opportunity to just celebrate Mom's memory and also have a nice time. But number two, people that come will get the chance to really learn as much as they want to learn about all of the programs Community Action has.
Yeah, and what, assuming that someone watching thinks, you know what, this sounds like something I might like to be involved in. What kind of qualities are you looking for in terms of leadership and membership
Yeah,
on
you know,
the board?
this is another reason it's important to have community action on your mind, because if you would like to volunteer for maybe 2 to 6 hours a month, you could call community action and say, you know, I want to get some volunteering in. What can I do?
Okay.
If you want to just write a check because you're just comfortable knowing that your hard-earned resources can go to an organization that is doing important work in the community, you can do that by going to community action and doing that. But if you wanted to join their board, I'm sure that they always have a
And how many
succession.
spots, how many people are on the board?
They have 15 board spots. I know that they have a couple of vacancies, but I'm sure that they're always looking for recruiting more people to get involved. And 15 is a lot of board seats, but it's
Right.
deliberate. They have members of the local government, local business leaders, members of the communities that they're serving, so that there's a nice dialogue to make sure that the organization stays focused on.
And to
the
remember, it
needs.
is a county-wide
It is Wyoming County wide
activity, right?
Yes.
Good. Well, it is so important. And, you know, with Wyoming County being a rural community, and, you know, it really is providing a real need.
Well, it
Basic
really
needs.
meets needs in a creative way. It's not DSS. This is not what they are. However, if you do find yourself in a position where you need a little bit a leg up here, they can help there. They can help you with that. They can connect you with the things that can help you get to where you need to get to. And now, again, not always on that poverty level. Also on that example of Rachel Richter at Olive and Inc. You know,
Right,
where
exactly.
you know, if she's a business owner and she wants to grow her business and keep her kids moving forward and so on and so forth. And Rachel Richter volunteers all over the community, and she's only going to be able to do more good work because her
That's
business is
right.
growing as a result of this.
And
little
isn't it
leg up.
wonderful, just stepping back, you know, you're both entrepreneurs, and Rachel, and, is to see all the opportunities here in Perry.
Oh, right.
To, you know, what I love, I call you the young and beautiful people. just that are here that are just constantly coming up with new creative ideas, be it Shake on the Lake or the brewery, and we have the creamery, and then we have also very well established businesses too.
I think
it's an exciting time to be.
I think that the leaders in
here.
our community make it easy to get involved. I think that the arts influence in our community help all of our events to be even more lovely. I've left out one art link to this event. So obviously we'll have music and we will have great marketing done by both Alvin Inc., Little Hive Marketing, and Warsaw Penny Saver. So these three female-owned businesses have been working really hard on our marketing. But then also local artist Bob Doyle is doing a photography project on each of the 4 departments in community action, and that will be on display there. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how he helped to do a visual representation of the work they do.
Good.
So culinary art, musical art, art put together in a business format, and then of course visual arts.
Yeah, and just the art I just love the idea of community art, the art of being, people working together in a harmonious way.
Absolutely.
It's the way it should be.
It is. It's a great community to be involved in.
Yeah, and once again, we just want to acknowledge Anita and the contribution that she made on so many levels.
Thank you.
And let's hold up the poster one more time. So the event is Feed the Need at the Hole in the Wall, Monday, November 14th. The show will be aired before that time. So please get in touch with Community Action or Burlingame Books or what have you. Buy a ticket, get dressed up, come prepared to eat and dance, celebrate, and we know that the Hole in the Wall is always about high standards. So we know it's going to be a really lovely evening.
You can rely on that.
Yeah, good. All right, anything else we should cover?
Thank you so much for letting us have your stage for an evening to promote this community event.
Well, you're welcome. And as always, we have a great staff here at Cable Access and a lovely audience as well. So thank you for joining us. Thank you, Jackie and Sarah. And we'll see you again soon.